Jai Gurudev and Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Om.
Hari Om Brahmaraji.
Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami Shruti Smriti Puranam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badaraya Sutrabhashyakrtau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Parampara Vande Guru Parampara Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Chaiva Tato Jayamudirayet. Hari Om. So yesterday we stopped at verse number 11. Are you all able to hear me clearly?
Yes, Brahmaraji.
Yeah. Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantu vaha parasparam bhavayantaha shreya paramavapsyatha. Anena, with this, Devan, the deities, Bhavayata, propitiate, Te, those, Devaha, deities, Vaha, you, Bhavayantu, may propitiate, Parasparam, one another, Bhavayantaha, propitiating, Param Shreyaha, highest good, Moksha, Avapsyatha, you shall gain. Propitiate the deities with this yajna. May those deities propitiate you. Propitiating one another, you shall gain the highest good, moksha. Previously, the Lord had said, with this yajna, may you all grow. In this verse, Krishna told Arjuna how, by performing the daily rituals enjoined by the Veda, the various deities or aspects of the Lord are propitiated. The sun is a blessing, no doubt. But if you look at it as just a ball of fire, it is not a deity, a devata. It is purely an inert blessing. However, if you look at the sun as a devata, you are recognizing that it is non-separate from Ishvara. Similarly, with the other deities, water called Varuna, air called Vayu, fire, Agni, and earth called Prithvi. Space, Akasha, is also a devata, as is time, Kala. Thus, there are any number of devatas whose blessings you partake of every day. There is an ecology at the level of your understanding with reference to free will, which is where the order that is Ishvara is to be appreciated. Daily yajnas imply your oblations, propitiation to all these devatas who are Ishvara in the form of various forces. May you propitiate them, and thus propitiated, may they bless you. You perform your daily duties and prayers, and let the cosmic forces bless you. Let them bless you, and you propitiate them. May you not disturb the cosmic ecology by doing what is to be done. May you not disturb the cosmic ecology by not doing what is to be done. A recognition, a sensitivity is involved here. By recognizing the cosmic forces, you do not take things for granted. This is why children in India are told they must get up before the sun rises. A child might think, so what if the sun rises? Let it rise. Why should I get up? But they are told that they must rise in time to welcome the sun. The sun is a blessing, and when a blessing comes, you should not be sleeping. You should be wide awake for its coming. A man had been meditating for 20 years. The Lord was pleased with his meditation and appeared before him. Unfortunately, the man was asleep at the time. This happens in meditation sometimes. And so the Lord came and went. The person had to meditate another 20 years before the Lord came again. But here, in the form of the sun, the Lord comes every day. Therefore, you should not be under the sheets when he comes. You should get up and receive the blessing that is the Lord. This kind of appreciation is what ecology is all about. There is no ecology other than your own understanding. You have to understand, otherwise, there is no ecology. Ecology is only for the person who understands. Here I would like to share, there is a small snippet that Gurudev has given when he talks about different deities. He talks of them as different, he in his own words, he says, the manifest world is controlled by subtle forces. And these subtle forces are nothing but um, expressions of divinity. They're different devatas, different waveforms, wave functions. And he says every particular aspect of your life is governed by one particular devata. And therefore, that is why we have different homas for different aspects. Like we have a Dhanvantri Homa for health, and Ganesha Homa for removing obstacles, or when you're starting something new. So similarly, he says these Devi Devatas are nothing but expressions of divinity, and they are here to give you comfort in life. So when you pray to them, when you in here in what we have read, when you propitiate them, they in turn give their blessings. And that is how the whole cycle of creation goes on. They are here to bring comfort to you. They are here to remove your obstacles, take care of you, to make your life comfortable. Yeah. Yajna requires sensitivity. There are those who say that if you have seen one redwood tree, you have seen them all. Ronald Reagan said this when he was governor of California. Because timber companies were destroying all the redwood trees, he was asked to put an end to the destruction. Reagan's response was that they would keep just a few trees so that people could see them. He did not see why anyone would want to preserve these 100-year-old trees. This represents a particular level of understanding, and at this level, there is no ecology, only economy. And in the long run, there is no economy either. Therefore, ecology is an appreciation that is in your head. In other words, in the eyes of the beholder. It is not beyond the eyes. It does not exist outside. If you do not see it, it is not there. This then is ecology. Appreciation of Ishvara is also ecology, but at a deeper level. Ishvara is appreciated as the cosmic forces and is thereby propitiated. One of the forms of propitiation is daily prayer. Therefore, may you appreciate Ishvara in your prayers as the forces, the deities, and let them bless you. May you all grow by doing what is to be done. There is a mutual respect here. The deities bless you and you propitiate them. You offer them your oblations and they offer you their oblations in the form of rain, energy, health, and so on. In this way, may you gain moksha, param shreyaha, characterized by knowledge, in due course, step by step, not directly, not immediately, but by antahkarana shuddhi, by preparing the mind, purifying it for the knowledge. If you die while pursuing knowledge without having gained it, it is said that at the very least, you will gain heavenly enjoyments, svarga. Therefore, there is no loss. Svarga also stands for better births, meaning that in your next birth, you will go further along towards moksha. This interpretation is more relevant since the Gita is Moksha Shastra, not Svarga Shastra. So all this is only for a karma yogi. It is not for a jnani. All these rituals and doing daily prayers, because a jnani, a sannyasi is absolved of doing all these nitya karmas, naimittika karmas and all. So all that is being talked of here is for a karma yogi. Then Krishna said, Ishtan bhogan hi vo deva dasyante yajna bhavitaha tairdattana pradayabhyo yo bhunte stena eva saha. Devaha, gods, yajna bhavitaha, propitiated by yajna, ishtan bhogan, desirable objects, vaha, to you, dasyante, will give, he, therefore, taihi dattan, given by them, ebhyaha, to them, apradaya, without offering, yaha, the one who bhunkte, enjoys, saha, that person, tenaha, thief, eva, indeed. The gods, propitiated by yajna, will give you desirable objects. Therefore, one who enjoys objects given by them without offering to them in return is indeed a thief. The gods here mean Ishvara in the form of deities who are propitiated by your yajnas, your prayers and rituals. They spread before you all desirable enjoyments. Whatever is desirable, they give to you. Thus, for those whose predominant commitment is to yajna, there will be conducive situations for growth. In order for a person to be able to live a life of dharma, you require a society where dharma is predominant. It is not that you cannot do it otherwise, but it is difficult. Take life in modern India, for example. Even to buy a railway ticket, the agent must be bribed. There is simply no other way to purchase a ticket because of the melting pot environment created by too rapid an industrialization following independence. The society is undergoing some rather drastic changes, and people's desires have become manifold. The changes have come from the top, and there is no foundation, leaving the society top heavy without the roots that proper growth requires. Growth should be like that of a tree. First, the roots are established, and then the tree grows from there. Thus, a person who wants to live a life of dharma will have problems in some parts of the world because he or she does not want to bribe people. Only where there is some dharma in the society is it easy to live such a life. To propitiate the devatas means to follow dharma. By living a prayerful life, you create a conducive atmosphere. And when the majority of people live this way, then the whole society will be conducive to the growth of dharma. Here, I would like to just take a little break, pause, and then share with you. I should have shared this yesterday, but it skipped my mind. We have actually completed a very beautiful Jnana Yajna, the whole of Tattva Bodh, Atma Bodh, and the Bhagavad Gita. So as the Sampradaya goes, as students, as we have received so much of blessing, it is important for us to give back in return. This is called the Guru Dakshina. So this Guru Dakshina, of course, I will ask Nana about it. Both my sister and my brother-in-law, with whom he was staying in Phoenix, they've already done for their part. On behalf of Nana, they have actually contributed some amount towards an old age home back in India. So what I was thinking was, if all of us together, um, pull up and contribute in whatever way we can, maybe we can make a difference to some, maybe an orphanage, or like Gift a Smile, or, any other needy, maybe it's a Goshala, somewhere. If we can contribute, that will complete this yajna. Otherwise, like what this previous shloka says, if we are only receiving blessings and not giving back, it is amount to stealing. So this thought I wanted to share with you yesterday, but I thought it's appropriate now to share. So whatever ideas, suggestions you have, I think we will all do that. In whatever it does not matter, what the amount is. It is the bhavana, I think, which matters. It is the whole thing that you're giving back in return. That is all. If I remember, even China had mentioned that when he was doing the Svadhyaya, there was I think somewhere in North India, there was an ashram coming up, the Goshala and all that, and they required some help. He said, do your offerings to that, make your dakshina there. Conform to the order. Huh?
Even in Chinmaya mission, after the Jnani Yajna, we always have
Correct.
that. No?
Correct.
So definitely we would love to.
Yeah. I will ask Nana if he has any particular idea to do. Otherwise, maybe we can come up with ideas ourselves. Any needy place, we can all contribute.
Any link is there, Brahmanaji? Do you have any link? Any payment link, if you can give us, we'll be able to do
that we will get once we decide where we are going to contribute. So I would need some maybe help in that. Let me check with Nana first. If he does not have any suggestions to do regarding the donation, then maybe one of us can scout out and find out if there's a needy place we can contribute there. Or
You
I
know
will
that
check.
that Ramana, that I mean, there's this Archa Vidya curriculum where I contributed, thinking about this home study and whatnot. But then there's his disciple, right? The Swami Tattvavidananda. He has several organizations like that, like the supporting elderly or people like that. There's
Right,
several of them
right.
in Kakinada and other places in
Yeah.
Andhra.
This one
Or
particular place that my sister and brother-in-law have already contributed to is in a
yeah,
place called Nidadavol. It's in Andhra Pradesh. So
right,
maybe
right, exactly.
it
Yeah,
is
he said it all.
that,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Hmm. Oh, yeah, there's other places also like that, like there's several of them, or whichever one you think,
Yeah.
will all help you.
Yeah. And please come up with suggestions and we'll take it up. Conforming to the order. The Devatas will do their jobs whether you propitiate them or not. But when you go against Dharma, you disturb the order and you are the sufferer. Therefore, everyone must do his or her job. The Devatas do their jobs and you do yours according to the order of Dharma given in the Veda. Animals, trees, and other plants are programmed and therefore do not require the Veda. People, on the other hand, do need it because they have to conform to the order, for which they need the understanding that the Veda provides. It is said that if you do not disturb the order, the Devas do not get disturbed. Thus, ecology of the universal order means that is no disturbance at the level of cosmic forces, the level of Devatas. When the sun, water, fire, air, and earth do their respective jobs, what do you get? A delicious Thanksgiving dinner on your plate. In this example, food stands for the various enjoyments, all of which come to your plate as blessings of the deities, cosmic forces, natural laws, and so on. For us, these are not simply nature, they are Ishvara. You just have to, I'm just sharing, you just have to think of that famine situation when there is no rain. If there is no rain, there is no grains, no growth happening. So when the sun, water, fire, air, and earth do not do their respective jobs, when that happens, there is so much of disorder in society. There is no dinner on your plate. That's exactly what happened during COVID. There was so much of, I think, misuse of nature that happened, that nature had to reboot itself. And therefore, COVID happened. And really, so much has happened after COVID that people have actually started downsizing. And I think people have understood maybe this order of dharma would continue doing it. But again, people who do not understand this ecology would get back to square one. In this verse, a person who enjoys the results that are given by Ishvara without having offered anything is likened to a thief. Because you are continuously receiving from the cosmic forces, which are nothing but aspects of Ishvara, you should give them something in return. You can only do this by remembering Ishvara, by offering an oblation or a prayer. This is real thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is not something that happens once a year. It goes on all the time. Although the deities do not need anything from you, you need to respect them. And this respect is given in the form of a prayer. The prayer is a recognition of all these forces and makes you a sensitive person. You are not just seeing what the eyes see or hearing what the ears hear. You are going beyond them. This kind of a life is not an ordinary life. It is a profound life. Not giving back to the deities in the form of remembrance makes you a thief. A thief does not say thank you. He or she just takes what belongs to another and runs away. Therefore, a person who does not remember the devatas is no different from a common thief. One who takes money from someone and does not return it is also a cheat. This thief, who is also a cheat, runs away and begins operating from another place so as not to be found out. Here, the devatas do not seem to come looking for you. They are all in your appreciation. Otherwise, they simply do not exist for you. Still, they operate constantly. The very air you breathe is Ishvara. The work of the devatas is always done and can be recognized by you. And if you do not recognize them, you are a cheat because you take from them and do not give them what is to be given in return. Recognition and thanksgiving are yajna. When you return to the devatas, what you return to the devatas is your recognition, which is what is called yajna. We perform the yajna as a return, as a thanksgiving. It is not for anything else. The yajna itself brings about an antahkarana shuddhi, because of which the person can give thanks. By giving thanks, by recognizing everything as Ishvara, you will definitely gain antahkarana shuddhi. A person who respects the cosmic forces is not an ordinary person. He or she no longer goes by raga dveshas, but goes beyond them. Otherwise, there would be no recognition or thanksgiving. On the other hand, a person who performs karma to satisfy his or her mind and senses alone does not offer oblations, not even water or a simple twig. Such a person is a thief and a cheat. He or she does not give the cosmic forces their due. I'm reminded of this beautiful bhajan that I think Swami Satyojata has composed. Is that he says, "Har saas meri puja tumhari, har saas meri puja tumhari, har pal mera prasad tera." Prasad tera. So if we can elevate ourselves to that level, where every breath we take, we are grateful for, I think that would have, that is like performing a yajna, right? And it's so beautiful. You wake up before the sun rises to welcome the sun, to receive his blessings. Just imagine what a level that has taken us to. And even respecting time. It is like you're doing a yajna for time. So all your raga dveshas are taken under control, right? You're not doing it at your time. You're doing it, you're respecting time. So, yeah, these few paragraphs have been really beautiful, very revealing. So therefore, ecology is all about understanding and recognizing Ishvara in every aspect of our lives. So suddenly it becomes, even your relationships to everybody, whether it's your friend or not friend, someone who is even inimical to you, your relation to him will be one of deep respect, because he is teaching you in so many ways. So suddenly there is a huge difference in the way, in your outlook in life. Yeah. If anyone wants to contribute or say anything, please go ahead before we go to the next verse.
Hariom, God has created so many Suhrun Mitras for us. So we should learn from each element. I mean, they are available for us in abundance without even expecting anything in return, whether it is air or water or sunlight, or I mean, we should learn from them that nature, Prakriti has given us a lot in abundance for the survival. And we being selfish, I mean, it will not balance that ecology.
Very true.
Therefore, Guruji always says, no, gratefulness.
Mm.
If you are grateful, you are great and you are full. Otherwise, you are a great fool, he says. So wonderfully.
And the very aspect of being grateful brings in so much of grace. This adrishta phala that we're talking about, that automatically comes, no? You don't do it for the adrishta phala, but that just happens. So whether or not you pray to the sun or to the air, to water, they provide, they remain in their dharma. They're doing their dharma. The sun rises, gives us sunshine every morning, every day, day after day. They are all the cosmic forces are following the order of dharma. If at all there is some disorder in them, for instance, floods and tsunami and all that, it is all because of man making. It's all also conforming to, it is thanks all these forest fires that happen. All that has in them, embedded in them, some disturbance that we have done. Otherwise, life would go on very smoothly. The unconditional love that nature gives us, if we are able to recognize, that is Ishvara in his manifest form.
It was earlier ingrained in our society, the puja, for anything before starting Vignaharta, anything, starting the home, starting even the sowing of the seeds. After the seeds, you again pray for it. In every action, there was a thanksgiving. Not that it was not only the at one day Thanksgiving. No. In every step, we had that ingrained in our system to give thanks, to give the puja and all other things. So now we are understanding it so beautifully. It is. So that only has helped us to come up to this level.
It is true. Again, I think down the ages, what has happened is only the ritual has remained, but the recognition has been lost. Why we're doing it, that the importance of why we're doing it is gone. The ritual has remained, which is why this beautiful, just this simple phrase, sarvam, or the sentence, sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu, that itself is like a prayer, and you're offering everything back. So when you are recognizing that itself is like a prayer. So if we can, include that in, and not just say it mechanically again, of course, you should recognize it, the deeper level of understanding, being sensitive, and you're actually feeling grateful, that becomes a prayer in itself. You may not do, light a lamp and all that. All that is fine. All that is also part of prayer. But more than just lighting a lamp, with what attitude you're lighting a lamp, I think that recognition aspect, that makes it even more useful as a prayer, more important as a prayer. See, we can mechanically cook also, right? You can go to the kitchen and just start cooking and things like that. But doing that same act as an act of offering, as a divine act, that brings in that sanctity, elevates it to the level of a prayer. That is why in yesterday what we read, he says everything, you have direct yajnas and indirect yajnas. Direct yajnas are those that are ritualistic, like you have, they're all laid out in the Vedas. But indirect yajnas are all the other things that we do in day-to-day life. Like taking a bath is a yajna, cooking is a yajna, taking care of your children is a yajna. Yeah. Just that we have to bring this to our awareness. Otherwise, the mind gets so it gets back to its mechanical ways of living. So unless we have this awareness at the back of our mind, this prayerful attitude in whatever we do will then happen once we have this awareness and sensitivity.
Hariom, yes, being sensitive to all the elements, it will definitely help us for like when we are using the water or when we are using, I mean, that awareness and sensitivity will definitely pave the way for our consciousness that we have to limit our usage. We should not waste, whether it is water or food or any resources which are available to us in abundance and free. I mean, nature has given us as free gifts without differentiating. So we have to be sensitive even for the usage of them.
Very true. In fact, in the in Ayurveda, as part of your as part of the Ayur Jagrati, we are told when you it's as part of your Nitya Karma, not Nitya Karma, it's not Nitya Karma. When you wake up, you say a prayer. Before you sleep, there is a prayer. And before you even step out of your bed and put your foot on the floor, you actually pray to Goddess Prithvi. There is a shloka for that. So everything, I mean, the moment you wake up till the time you sleep, everything becomes like it's like a Thanksgiving. There's a prayer for everything. Like Suresh.
It becomes yajna.
Yeah, it becomes a yajna.
Your life becomes yajna.
You are born of yajna. Your whole life is made of yajna, and then you go back also as yajna. And then that Shodasha samskaras that I shared, please go through that. All the 16 samskaras are mentioned. It is called from womb to tomb. So these rituals are Vedic samskaras that come with a lot of chanting, mantras that propitiate, divine forces to ensure that you're from your birth, even before you're conceived, from that time till you reach, till the time you are dead. And even then, after you're dead, also there is this antyeshti, the karma that is to be done for the dead. So there is, you are being kind of safeguarded. And it is said, if you read the first paragraph, the ultimate purpose of human life is to blossom to to blossom into love. So these samskaras make sure they take care of you from the time you're born till the time you reach your deathbed. यज्ञशिष्टाशिनः सन्तो मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषैः भुञ्जते ते त्वघं पापा ये पचन्त्यात्मकारणात्. Yajnashishtashinas santaha. Those who eat, having first offered the food to the Lord, sarva kilbishaihi, from all impurities, muchyante, are released, etu, whereas those who atma karanat, for the sake of themselves, pachanti, cook, te, they, papaha, sinners, agham, papa, sin, bhunjante, eat. Those who eat, having first offered the food to the Lord, are released from impurities, whereas those sinful people who cook only for themselves eat papa or sin. Karma Yoga is presented as yajna in this verse. We have seen how all actions are yajnas, whether they are in the form of rituals, prayers, or performing one's duties to others, more of which we shall see in the next chapter. Since Ishvara, the Lord, is to be recognized in the form of the various cosmic forces or elements, these forces are viewed individually and are called devatas or devas, meaning deities. Thus, it is said, may you propitiate the devas and let them bless you. This means that you let them do what they have to do, and you do what you have to do. In this way, since there is nothing outside of Ishvara, the natural forces are not looked upon as mere inert forces. Everything is within Ishvara, the conscious being, Chetana Vastu, even when one is under the spell of dream. In a dream, we see both living beings and inert objects. The mountain scene in a dream is inert, Jada. The sun and its rays are also Jada. Everything seen is Jada, in fact, and not Chetana. But the difference between the inert and the conscious Jada Chetana Bheda is only within the framework of what is perceived by you as the subject of the dream. If, having perceived the dream objects, you shift your perception to the person who is dreaming, the creator of the dream, then you will see that there is no world outside of the dreamer. If the dreamer is a conscious being, the dreamt world is not separate from the dreamer because he or she is both the maker, nimitta karana of the dream world, and the material, upadana karana for it. Therefore, from the dreamer's standpoint, there is nothing inert or conscious. Everything is the dreamer alone. Similarly, from the standpoint of Ishvara, the cosmic forces are recognized as being non-separate from Ishvara because there is nothing outside of Ishvara. They are not simply taken to be Jada. Even though they look as though they are Jada, they are all Devatas from the standpoint of Ishvara. In this way, the sun becomes a Devata, as does the air, fire, water, and the earth. Acknowledging Ishvara in this way, recognizing his many aspects in the form of Devatas, one performs various rituals and prayers, which are also actions. There are various actions that are to be done, including the daily rituals, Nitya Karma, and rituals performed on certain occasions, Naimitika Karma, stipulated in the Veda as part of its vision. Nitya Karma and Naimitika Karma are to be performed without exception until one takes sannyasa, that is, until one renounces everything. So this dream analogy is understood, right? It seems a little abstract, but then it is the way to understand how, if you consider Ishvara as the dreamer, in his dream world, he has created all of this, objects and people, living objects. So the dreamer is none other than the waker. Similarly,
Can you explain again this dreamer?
yeah. So the thing is, everything is within Ishvara, the Chetana Vastu, even when one is under the spell of dream. That is how Swamiji starts off, right?
Brahmanaji, can you read one more time the dream para?
Yeah, that's what I'm reading that. I'm reading that.
Okay.
Because there is nothing outside of Ishvara, the natural forces are not looked upon as mere inert forces. Everything is within Ishvara, the conscious being, Chetana Vastu, even when one is under the spell of dream. In a dream, we see both living beings and inert objects. The mountain scene in a dream is inert, Jada. The sun and its rays are also Jada. Jada is inert. Everything seen is Jada, in fact, and not Chetana. But the difference between the inert and the conscious, Jada Chetana Bheda, is only within the framework of what is perceived by you as the subject of the dream. If, having perceived the dream objects, you shift your perception to the person who is dreaming, the creator of the dream, then you will see that there is no world outside of the dreamer. Which means you are nothing but the dream. If you shift your attention from the dream, where you have the inert objects, living objects, all those dream objects and living beings that you create in the dream, when you shift your attention from that to the subject of, or the dreamer, the person who is dreaming, who is the creator of the dream, there is nothing apart. The creator of the dream pervades throughout the dream, in and through, isn't it? Because there is no dream without the dreamer. Similarly, Ishvara, who is the Lord, the creator, he pervades in and through creation. So he pervades through the cosmic forces which are inert. He is pervading through every aspect of creation. So let me go to the next thing. If the dreamer is a conscious being, the dreamt world is not separate from the dreamer, because he or she is both the maker, nimitta karana, of the dream world, and the material, upadana karana, for it. Therefore, from the dreamer's standpoint, there is nothing inert or conscious. Everything is the dreamer alone. So you cannot distinguish and say this is inert and this is conscious, because everything is the same, the creator itself. Similarly, from the standpoint of Ishvara, the cosmic forces are recognized as being non-separate from Ishvara, because there is nothing outside of Ishvara. They are not simply taken to be Jada. Even though they look as though they are Jada, they are all Devatas from the standpoint of Ishvara. In this way, the sun becomes a Devata, as does the air, fire, water, and the earth.
Yeah, this one, like remember in the 9th chapter that we did the 4th, 5th, 6th sloka. It like like it was the Ishvara or Bhagavan. He is in everything, and then but
Sarvabhutastam Atmanam Sarvabhutani Chatman. Is that the one? I can't remember the shloka.
yeah, let me get the sloka.
So it is not just the cosmic forces in our tradition. When we during Navratri on Navami day, we pray to all on Ayudha Puja. We pray and we propitiate all the instruments, all the vehicles, even man-made, right? So we
The
bring
one was
all of them.
Nacha Mastani Bhutani Pasyame Yogam Aishwaram. Bhutabran Nacha Bhutastu Mamatma Bhuta Bhavanaha. So that's one. And then the Yata Akashas, you remember under the space, the air is there, like that. Bhagavan, covers everybody, like that. Yata Akasa Stito Nityam Vayuhu Sarvatra Go Tata Sarvani Bhutani Mastani Te Upataraye. Yeah, so the mighty atmosphere ever abides in space, so do all objects abide in me. So that was the...
Yeah. So that I think is getting a little clear in this explanation that Swamiji has given with respect to the dream, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why, like, we thought, it was a little bit conflicting. One, he said, I am the support of everything, but I'm not in them. But the next one, he says, he's in everything. So, like that. But now here, you have this, clearly he has explained here. Creator of the
Nicely,
dream.
the dreamer itself is Ishvara,
Yeah,
Mm.
dreamer itself
That is
is the
what
creator.
a creator. So that itself comes Aham Brahmasmi.
Right.
See,
And
Tatvamasi.
correct.
I am that.
Without the creator, there is no, without
No
the
one.
dreamer, there is no dream. And
Dream,
without
yes.
there is no creation. So therefore, he pervades in and through creation.
Creation. See, he is not in the dream. The dreamer is dreaming, but he is not in the dream. But it pervades. He pervades it. That is what I am in there, but it doesn't touch me. That 9th chapter.
Correct.
So it's really wonderfully explained here. Good.
Yeah. Dr. Renu, are you fine with the understanding?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So we should actually thank us having this dream state. There's so much of understanding you can actually get when you just understand the dream, understand your dreams. The sleep itself, I think somewhere Gurudev has also said, but in Patanjali Yoga Sutras, I think, if you understand sleep, it will take you to deeper levels of understanding of creation, and it is very revealing.
The Patanjali Yoga only. Yes.
In
He
Patanjali
said,
Yoga Sutras.
yes.
So here I would like to actually bring to the fact how Gurudev has brought down these highest truths into different aspects of our courses. Even for children in the art excel, we tell them to be sensitive to objects. We play a beautiful game called Queen of Sheba, where they're asked to be sensitive to objects, even if it's a pen, a book, a bag, their shoes, how they keep their shoes, how they set their room, not just throw the bag once they come back from school. So that you're recognizing and you're respecting everything, whether it's inert or living. They're asked to be sensitive towards animals, towards plants. Yeah. Acknowledging the cosmic forces as devatas. Whatever results you receive from the actions you perform are blessings given to you by the devatas who are doing their jobs. If you acknowledge these devatas and give them their due, you become a person who is not a thief or a cheat, as Krishna said in the previous verse. Here in the present verse, he contrasted the person who is not a thief with one who is. One cannot help but perform certain harmful karma as one lives one's daily life. Life does not live upon life. Life does live upon life. If freedom of free will were not there, nothing would be sinful, strictly speaking. There would be no wrongdoing, no papa karma. But because one has to eat and one must fulfill certain minimum requirements in order to survive, there is naturally going to be some kind of injury, himsa, done. Some plants, animals, and bugs will be destroyed. In this way, many non-human living beings are destroyed every day, and this destruction produces certain untoward results called papas, which keep on gathering every day. How are you going to eliminate these results? Knowingly or unknowingly, a lot of papas are incurred, and you gather results that are undesirable, which in turn result in some kind of unpleasantness, dukkha, for you. To neutralize these results, then, there are different types of yajnas. Yajnas to the deities, to one's ancestors, to one's fellow creatures, to the rishis who have given us this knowledge, and so on. These yajnas are to be performed daily and are contained in one ritual. The yajna shishta shinaha in this verse refers to those who eat after having first offered the food to the Lord. In other words, those who partake having paid their dues. While people in India today may not perform all the enjoined yajnas very methodically, they always offer the food to the Lord and only then do they eat. The ritual itself is not what is important. It is the attitude, the bhavana that counts. Food is cooked and offered to the Lord, the attitude being that only what is left over, yajna shishta, is to be eaten, which is what is meant by prasada. It is a blessing from the Lord. Those who eat only prasada do not eat food. They eat only prasada. Having offered the food to the Lord with a prayer, such as the chant Brahmarpanam, the food itself becomes prasada. Thus it is said that those who offer food to the Lord and then partake of what is left over are released, muchyante, from all the little papas, sarva kilbishas, that have been gathered daily because of having performed some injury or the other in the interest of survival. Merely by grinding something, washing the floor, spraying detergent, or walking, we are continually killing something. This killing is often done deliberately for our own welfare. In fact, we could not live if we did not do it. The bugs that we kill want to live, but we also want to live. Coexistence not being possible, the bugs must be destroyed. This act of destruction involves some sin, some adharma, which, as Krishna points out in this verse, can be neutralized by daily prayer, not by anything else. Freedom from the results of one's actions. Or the verse can be taken another way. Having become purified by the knowledge, you will be liberated from all punya and papa. No one releases oneself from punya and papa without having the knowledge. Thus the statement, sarva kilvishaihi muchyante, can be taken to mean from all karmas, they get released. The word santaha can be taken together with the word yajna shishtashtinaha, meaning being ones who are yajna shishtashtinaha. Or it can be taken as a separate word meaning the saintly people, satpurushaha, the wise. In that case, it is an adjective to the word yajna shishtasinaha. They become wise because of a life of prayer, which gives them the mind necessary to know. In the second line of the verse, Krishna described those people who are given to papa karmas, actions based on adharma rather than dharma. They do not recognize dharma and adharma at all. They recognize only what is convenient to them. Their pleasure and security alone are important. They simply do not see anything more than that. While the yajna shishtashanas get rid of the sins gathered, these people just go on gathering them because they do
That
not
is,
offer.
that is prayers,
That is prayers, and that is just going after your karma and
Come and there is a.
you're
It's
not
not
going
Shreyas.
karma, isn't it? Because they do not offer the food they eat to the Lord, it is said that they eat papa, meaning that when they eat only sin. Sin here must be understood in the Indian context. Every karma has its own result. An action is sinful only in the sense that it results in some unpleasantness, dukkha, for the person who performed the action. Similarly, a good action simply means that it produces a result that gives you some pleasure, comfort, and so on. There is no accurate English translation for the Sanskrit words papa and punya, so as not to confuse them with the totally different concept generally associated with the word sin in other contexts. It is preferable to retain the Sanskrit words themselves. Sin in the Indian context is always quantified. Even in the realm of traffic violations, there are quantifiable differences. A driving violation being more serious than a parking violation. A parking violation may simply involve a fine to be paid, or your car may be towed away and may be costly to retrieve. But you do not have to keep on paying. It does not affect your insurance premium like a driving offense can. Like the laws governing traffic violations, the law of karma means that the result of any action is appropriate to the action performed. Restitution is always according to the action performed. According to the karma performed, there is both a seen and an unseen result. If the unseen result is undesirable, it is called papa. This is how it is. Those who cook and eat only for themselves and not as an offering to the devatas eat only papa, whereas those who eat only after offering the food to the Lord get rid of any sins, any papas they might have collected through other actions. Karma has to be done. It keeps everything going. The great cosmic wheel is constantly turning, and because you are a doer, one who enjoys the free will, you are a cog in it. You can do and you need not do. A tree does whatever it has to do because that is how a tree is made. An animal also does exactly what is expected of it because it is made to do so. In this way, all non-human living beings do what they do because they are programmed in a certain way. The human being, however, is one whose action is performed by will. Therefore, there is choice in action. One may perform an action, not perform it, or perform it differently. In the next verse, Krishna describes how the cosmic wheel keeps on going because of karma alone. Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyadanna sambhavaha yajnat bhavati parjanyo yajna karma samudbhavaha. Bhutani, living beings, annat, from food, bhavanti, are born, parjanyat, from rain, annaha sambhavaha, food is born, parjanyaha, rain, yajnat, from yajna, bhavati, is born, yajnaha, punya, karma samudbhavaha, born of action. Living beings are born of food. Food is born of rain. Rain is born of yajna, punya, and yajna, punya is born of action. The expression born of food cannot, of course, be taken literally, since nothing is actually born of food. It refers instead to the food eaten by the person. In Shankara's commentary on this verse, the word bhuktat is added to the word annat, meaning from the food eaten and assimilated. From the food eaten, all living beings with various bodies are born. The food eaten by the parents is converted into the causes for conception of the being, the blood, seed, and so on. Therefore, conception itself is because of food, and food, being the material for it, is the material cause for the anatomical aspects, the physical aspects of the body. Krishna then went on to say that the food itself is born from rain. If there were no rains, there would be no food. The entire earth would be a desert and sand would be the only food. The rain, in turn, Krishna said, is born of yajna, your daily prayers, acknowledging the blessings of the devatas. It is true that if you do not perform yajna, rain still comes, but it may not come at the right time or in the right quantities. Later, Krishna said that the rain always does its job, and unless you are offering daily prayers, you are not doing yours. It is not uncommon for a person to think that since everyone else is doing it, he or she need not do it, like in chorus singing. If one person does not sing at a given time, nothing is lost because most of the others are singing. Even if one person commits a mistake, it goes undetected because the others are not making the same mistake. Only if everyone were to commit the same mistake at the same time would it become evident. Therefore, chorus chanting always sounds perfect, even though individually there may be problems. Here too, some people offer their prayers and the rain is enjoyed by everyone. However, Krishna likened one who does not do it to a thief. It is not that the rain will not do its job. It is the recognition of the cosmic forces as Ishvara that is important here. When you perform yajna as, when you do your duties, your prayers and so on, then the devatas bless you. For example, the sun has always been said to produce the rain since it evaporates ocean water, which then forms into clouds. And when you do your daily devata yajnas, as all the accrued adrishta, unseen results, go to the appropriate deity, the sun here. Then from the sun, the rains come. This is another way of saying that you invoke the forces and the forces bless you. The rains come at the right time, to the right place, in the right amounts. I will just read this one more time. So when you perform yajna as, when you do your duties, your prayers and so on, then the devatas bless you. For example, the sun has always been said to produce the rain since it evaporates ocean water, which then forms into clouds. And when you do your daily devata yajnas, as all the accrued adrishta unseen results go to the appropriate deity, the sun here. Then from the sun, the rains come. This is another way of saying that you invoke the forces and the forces bless you. The rains come at the right time, to the right place, in the right amounts. What I did not quite understand is that how all the accrued adrishta, unseen results, go to the appropriate deity, the sun. Don't the adrishta results come to you, not to the sun?
So what is your question? So you said how the Adishta Pala is going to the sun?
The statement says, the sun has always been said to produce the rain since it evaporates ocean water, which then
Right.
forms into clouds.
Mhm.
And when you do your daily devata yajnas, as all the accrued adrishta, unseen results, go to the appropriate deity, the sun here.
Yeah, but I think
Means the accrued duty of everyone means the phala or result of
unseen,
that unseen
unseen
adrasta.
result. Yeah, that unseen
Then
result.
Devata, sun will get that punya and he will do his duty.
I think
correctly.
it's kind of, it start from one thing, right, to the other, right? Going to the, like a space and
Circle it is. Vicious
yeah,
circle.
circle, like, because without sun, there is nothing
Nothing
is
will
going to
happen.
grow, like the people, everything. So maybe the sun is the prime devata kind of, so without it, nothing would happen.
That is heat.
Yeah,
It is the fastest
light and
delivery boy.
heat, yeah, everything.
Delivery boy is this,
I mean, it gives
fastest.
the rain. Because of the rain, then you get the water. Um, and then, is that how it comes, Dr. Brahma? You don't remember, we first Akasha, and then the Vayu, then Agni, then water, and Prithvi, right? That's how the origin came. But then I am thinking in terms of the food, that kind of cycle, like sunlight, water, so that you get the food growing for all the living beings and non-living too. I mean, some of that, and then that kind of keeps going.
Jai
I mean,
Gurudev. I
I
think it's okay. You go ahead.
no, finish, go. And
Okay, I think Swamiji has taken the example of sun. So he, in accordance with that, he's describing the this thought that whatever you are doing, then in case of the example which he has taken, with context to that, he is explaining this further lines. What I understood.
I think Brahmaraji asked that when you do the karma phala has to come to you, right? This is what your question. It doesn't go to sun. Yeah, that was her question.
but it is
when we
accrued,
do when we do the prayers, it is like a punya, right? So in the form of the rains or ultimate rains, like the process happens and then we get the rains and the wind. So our punya has fructified in this form.
we always, like, when pray for rain, individually or collectively, people pray for having rain, because that's how we get the water, right? I mean, mostly, I mean, like I do, pray. In California, we get the drought, fire, all this accident, but not just for that kind of thing. I mean, even in the world, like in Africa, there are so many places people suffer from hungry because they don't have any food to eat. So the way they can cultivate all this grains and stuff, or any plant life or even animal life, without water, it'd be kind of hard. So that one of those things, I feel, whether it's individual prayer or collective prayer, that results in that kind of result.
Yeah. I think we'll coming back to this thing that like the chorus singing that Swamiji has explained, there may be people who argue that if I don't pray, what happens? I'm still getting the rain. It is because it is just like how people who are not vaccinating themselves say, I'm not vaccinated myself, I'm not getting sick. It is because of a huge population of people who are vaccinated that they are being protected.
Yeah,
So
because
similar,
the herd
yeah,
immunity. Yeah, right.
herd
Yeah.
immunity, it is protecting them.
Mhm.
They're under the misconception that because whether they've taken the vaccination or not, they're being protected. But
Yeah.
in fact, it is not. So similarly, this brings to the fact, the point is that every individual is supposed to be doing this prayer as a yajna, as the rituals. And
Right.
yajna is not
Mhm.
so the ritual, it is the attitude. It is the bhavana which is important.
Hariom, my mother-in-law always tells that it is because of the tapas of the rishis in past and even now. They keep on doing that tapas, and because of that, even the sustenance is there. So what we are feeling right now, it's a drishta phala of those rishi munis in past as well as right now, like our Gurudev and other Sadgurus.
That
You
is
know, in
why
fact, we are supposed to do the prayer like the Naimitika karma. One of those things is like not only the Pitru thing, and we are supposed to uh, give back to these Devatas and Rishis who uh, are the
Trina,
like,
right.
yeah, we have to worship. There are certain prayers for them too, uh, like you said, when you're taking bath itself, you have to pray for this Ganga or these rivers that they say. And then the Surya Namaskar, like when before you wake up and do all those things, like as you read, everything had to be done. And then this one of this offering food to the god, and they do it in different ways, but then this is one of those things that we have to do. I mean, and then the prayer, you said something about the night prayer. What is that prayer, Dr. Brahma?
That one, there is
I
a prayer that you say when you wake up in the morning.
That the Pratya, you have sent one.
Different prayers you can say in the morning, but the
Shankara.
one that
Uh-huh.
is given,
Pratyasmarami Smriti.
Yeah,
yeah,
Pratya. Is that the
that is one. You
uh,
can also say Karagre Vasate Lakshmi, Karamule
yeah,
Saraswati,
right.
Karamate Gauri, Prabhati Karadarshanam. So
Darshanam,
then
yeah.
you do this
Mhm.
and you wipe your
Look at your palm.
and
And
then
that.
take your palms to your face. That is
Yeah.
one. And then the there is another verse after this that you say is Samudra Vasane Devi Parvatastana Vasini. I'm not getting the whole thing. I'll just remember that and tell you.
You just said something I didn't get. I probably kind of stepped away that time. You were
Bhumi
saying
Devi Namastubhyam Padasparshana Kshamyatam. It is, I am touching, the Bhudevi is considered to be Lakshmi Devi. So you are invoking her, saying you are, Lakshmi Devi is born out of the Parvata Mantana, right? That the Meru, the Asuras and Devas were churning the POs, and then Lakshmi is born. So you're invoking that Lakshmi and you're saying, Padasparshana Kshamyata. Before you put your foot on the floor after you get up in bed, you're supposed to say this shloka, and then you put your foot on the floor.
Oh, I see. Yeah, okay.
So, there is so much of sanctity, so
It's a
much
meaningful,
sacredness.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is all meaningful.
every aspect. Also, before you go to bed, there are several prayers, I think, but one prayer is Kayena Vacha Manasendriyerva Vidhyana Prakrite Swabhavat Karomi Kalam
Parasmai Narayana.
Narayana Samarpaya. So that is one offering. And there is also something which says, if by intentionally or unintentionally, if I have done something wrong, please pardon me. It is like it's asking for pardon.
Asking for
that
pardon.
itself is kayana vacha.
That's Kayana Vasa's.
Only itself is that pardon me
There is
if I
also
done.
something else, Sureshji, with it's not coming to my mind.
You're submitting your to Narayana for him
Whatever
to.
we have done, yes.
Yeah.
Wrong or whatever it is.
Very nice.
And when we eating food, you know that I think, of course, all of us must be doing it. When you say a prayer, that makes your, and you're offering it to the Lord and then eating it, it becomes prasada. It is not just food.
Right, yeah.
Sanctifies it. And it is scientifically also proved when there is one Japanese scientist, Dr. Emoto, I think his name is. He has done so many experiments on water crystals. When you say something which is positive, how the water crystals beautifully form shapes.
Forms,
When
yeah.
you say something which is negative,
Right.
they get distorted.
Yeah, that's why they say that, that Panchapatram, you put water for Swami, like we do that, and then you take it after you chant, then you take that water that is very much like that crystal,
Correct.
stays
So,
like what
and
it's supposed to be. Yeah.
the human body is made of what, 70% water. So when you're saying these prayers and bringing in this attitude, just imagine what the water inside of you is harmonizing, is getting so in harmony. Beautiful crystals forming in there.
It is, yeah. That's really nice. Nowadays we take the water right from the tap or somewhere. We used to have all those pots and things that we used to have the water, but at least now I keep the water in that patram and have to have at least a few spoons of water after you pray. That's nice.
So let
I
me
think,
just...
the reading all these things, I think we are adding one activity as one, one by one. That's nice.
Yeah, it's sanctifying our life.
Yeah.
The unseen result, adrishta, is what is meant by yajna here. A prayer does not produce a tangible result immediately. It produces an unseen result, which in turn produces the tangible result later. Without karma, you can produce neither seen nor unseen results. We know that the seen result of boiled water cannot be produced without the action of heating the water. Similarly, an unseen result is one that is produced by the action of prayer. This action is what keeps the natural forces, the cosmic ecology going. When it is said here that yajna is born out of karma, yajna is not referring to a ritual, because a ritual itself is a karma. To clarify this point, Shankara said in his commentary to this verse that yajna is adrishta, the unseen result. The adrishta is born out of karma and is what produces the result. Only in this way, then, can it be said that yajna is born of karma. And where do the karmas, the rituals, and so on come from? Answering this, Krishna continued. So I will just read this previous paragraph again. When it is said here that yajna is born out of karma, yajna is not referring to a ritual, because the ritual itself is a karma. To clarify this point, Shankara said in his commentary to this verse that yajna is adrishta, the unseen result. The adrishta is born out of karma and is what produces the result. Only in this way, then, can it be said that yajna is born of karma. Yeah.
All rituals are karma, right? That's karma kanda that we we read about. Where do the karmas, rituals, and so on?
Many people talk that it is a waste. We do so many things. Abhishekam, waste of, so many things they say. Even yajna.
So what Swamiji is saying here, he's saying yajna is the adrishta. Yajna is the unseen result. The adrishta is born of karma and is what produces the result. So yajna here is not just the ritual. That is what Swamiji is, that is what Shankara is clarifying here.
It is the result.
It is a result.
Result.
Isn't it? See, yajna therefore is born of karma. Karma is the ritual that you do, the prayer or the karma that you do. Yajna is the adrishta phala that is born of karma. And that is how maybe we can understand this previous thing of the sun being the adrishta. All the accrued adrishta, unseen results, go to the appropriate deity, the sun here.
Yeah.
Correct.
Of course,
The
Correct.
yajna
That's the
means
correct
it's yajna means what exactly the meaning here?
I
Like,
think here there is a confusion with the noun and the verb.
Yeah.
you
We take
perform
it as a verb. We
You
take
must
it
take
as a
it
verb.
as a noun, not a verb.
Verb.
If you take it
Okay.
as a verb, it is a ritual, it is an action. But
Right.
yajna is born out of karma, so it is not the ritual. Yajna is not the ritual. Yajna is the unseen results of the ritual that you do.
Ritual that we're doing. Okay.
That is the definition. That is how Shankara has explained it.
Mm.
Beautiful. This is really beautiful. Otherwise, we always think yajna means a karma.
Karma.
We always, so that has gone into our head. So we should say that is an adrishta phala of the karma. Of the karma.
Yeah. So making your whole life prayerful, making every breath a prayer, making every step you take as pradakshina of the Lord. That is so beautiful. That is, in this context, before we wind up today, I would like to share, I am not sure how many of us have read, have listened to this. There is a beautiful shloka that, it's a stotra that Bhanu Didi sang. It is about the aspect of praying to the cosmic forces. He says, you are everything. I'm offering this, naivedya, when you yourself are nothing but food. How am I offering this food to you? It makes it so silly that I'm offering this food. When you are everywhere, what is this lamp and this arati that I'm giving you? So let me retrieve that the shloka, and I'll share it in the group. It's such a beautiful, it is called, I don't forget the actual name of the shloka, the stotra, but I will share it.
That's a really, it makes a lot of sense, right? We think we are offering, basically, we are taking out of what God given us, then we are giving back to Him. It's actually that's where that attitude really gives you the meaning, right? You have actually nothing, and you are just, what little, you want to show you as the gratitude, maybe. That's
a heightened awareness.
Yeah, basically, that's
yeah. Yeah. So we
think
up.
It's beautiful takeaway is that Shankara's yajna is not karma. It is the adrishta phala. Very beautiful. So whenever we say yajna means, we always think it as, we have to do some ritual. No. We have to think it as an phala.
In the context, it may, the meaning may be differ, like in some places it's a ritual, some places it is the adrishta phala.
So we'll wind up here today. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.